they have covered. Form also, they say, form is temporary, class is permanent. So is it a sort of a burden to have legacy cricketers and then, sort of find a place for themselves in your team?
No, not at all. I mean, you have those legacy cricketers because they've created it for themselves.
Yeah.
Because of their performance over the years. I mean, there is no one team in world cricket who will not want experience in their team. It's always got to be a balance between some of our youth players or the newer players and your experienced players to guide them. And it's been the case through history. So, no, you'd rather have those experienced players playing well, which, once you've been around forever, you take pride in your performances.
Yeah.
It's so, no, I don't, I mean, like I said, they've created that legacy for themselves and, you treat them with that respect and there's always that respect when somebody's been around for 10, 12, 15 years. Maybe some of the conversations don't come out that you have with those players, but there's nothing but respect for the guys that have achieved that long and you want them around the team because there are a lot of young guys that come through every year. We have at least 6 or 7 guys that make their debuts and with different formats now, perhaps sometimes more.
Yeah.
You want those young, senior guys to guide them and the longer they play, it's always good for the team.
And I'm coming to the inevitable question, which, if I were to ask for a poll in this audience, if not 195% would say that they would want to see Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma in the 2027 ODI World Cup squad. What are your thoughts as the chief selector?
I thought you'd never ask, so. No, look, I mean, they're part of that squad at the moment for Australia. Like I said, they've been incredible players for a long period of time. And it's probably not the forum to keep harping on individuals because you want to try and focus on the team, what the team wants to achieve. And in 2 years' time, we don't know what the situation is going to be. So why just them two? It could be some other younger players.
No, specifically for the two of them. Can I ask you that their future, their probability of being a part of the squad in 2027 would now depend on each and every ODI series that will be played between now and 2027?
I mean, that'll be a bit silly, isn't it? When the guys have one average is over 50 and one average is close to 50. So you're not going to put them on trial for every game. But 2027 is a long way away. Both of them play one format. They're playing cricket after what? We played 8th or 9th of March was the Champions Trophy final. They'll play 19th of October. They haven't had a lot of cricket.
7 months.
Yeah, so once they start playing, and then you assess as you go forward, they're not on trial. They've achieved all they had to achieve in terms of not just winning trophies, but runs. So it's not that if both of them don't get runs this series, that will be the reason they won't be there. Or if they get 300s, that is the reason they play 2027. It's still a long way away, and we see how the team shapes up. But we have some ideas, and as we go along, we'll probably have a better idea of where the team is progressing to.
Right, and can I just ask you to reflect on the period when both of them, decided to walk away from T20s and test matches and now focusing only on one-day cricket. Did you get a lot of hate mails? आपने ऐसा करा है, आपने इन्हें retire करवाया है.
Like I said, I don't read, apart from the official BCCI emails. But no, I mean, look, both of them have been stalwarts of Indian cricket. They both approached. They felt it was a new WTC cycle, and whatever people might think or not think, that is the reality. I think both were very aware. Perhaps they may not have gone for those 2 years as test players for that WTC cycle. And look, England was a series where we would have loved some experience, frankly. And the performance was incredible, even though we didn't win. Under a young captain, which was always going to be difficult, but we would have liked some experience, but they had made their decision. And once you've played for as long as they have and they're sure about what decision they want to make to walk away from a particular format, you've got to respect that. I mean, whether we try to talk them into playing, I'll keep it to myself.
That was a very curious time, Ajit, because, people were quoting from Rohit Sharma's social media handles only that 15 days prior to announcing his retirement, he was looking forward to England, and then suddenly we have the decision.
I mean, you would know.
You were also taken by surprise?
I didn't read his social media, so I usually talk to the player. So, no, but look, I think you've got to focus on the team that played in England. I think the guys went there and drew that series against all odds. I don't think anyone gave us a chance with that team. So why not focus on the performances that the current players are doing rather than guys who've retired, as good as players that they've been, they're no longer part of the test team. So rather, maybe applaud the guys who actually went out there and performed instead of trying to find faults with other things. Yeah.
And the team was fantastic. Of course, you guys making some very, very difficult calls, but the calls which were matched with heart and hard decisions, if I could say that. And it's been incredible to see the boys performing.
Yeah, but I mean, that's been the case over the years. It's not the first time when a senior player has retired or been left out or has walked away from the game. Well, we've had one guy who played 200 test matches who's not playing anymore. I mean, so that's the nature of sport. The transition is natural. When you do it, how you do it, it has to be in the interest of the team. Yeah. And that is our job and our responsibility. And as long as we, perhaps may not get it right all the time, but the intentions are always right. And you hope that you make the right decision at the right time.
Ajit, I want you to just give us an insight into what happens in that, boardroom meeting with the chief selector and the other four sitting around you on the table. Are there moments when you are frustrated, when you would just, be dramatic in that meeting and say, nahi, isko nahi lena tha, isko lena tha? Just give us a bit of an insight. What happens in the meeting when you've made a decision?
I mean, we generally have lots of chat before going in the meeting anyway. I mean, look, like I said, captain and coach, to me, I mean, even though the decision is for 5 of us to make, I think captain usually sits in the selection meeting. So eventually, once you reach that selection meeting, most of us are on the same page. You've had lots of discussions leading up to that and lots of disagreements, which is important. I mean, that there are 5 people who will have 5 different thoughts, hopefully not 5 different thoughts, but different thoughts. But invariably, there are always 12, 13, 14 players that pick themselves. And those disagreements are healthy, which means that you have more than one option for a particular spot. And eventually, it's our decision to make. I mean, Rahul Dravid was coach before that. And he's a dear friend. And we've had some, I won't call it bust-ups, but we've had some real disagreements with regards to what he wants. But that's because we are trying to do what's in the interest of the team and try and pick the best 15. Similarly, with the captains, Rohit before this and Shubman's very new, you want to discuss. Our job is to try and give the best possible 15 so that the captain and the coach can make their life a little bit easier. And if you don't involve them part of the discussion, it'll be a bit foolish. So eventually, yes, there will be certain calls which we don't agree with them, which we make. But invariably, every call is taken within the interest of the team and depending on what series you're playing, what the future holds. Obviously, there's a T20 World Cup coming, so you're 6-8 months or a year before that, you start planning for that. Then there's a 50-over World Cup coming. There's a WTC cycle which keeps going. So you have different plans for that, but no, it's not as dramatic as it's made out to be, the selection.
So can I ask you to perhaps help us understand when our team is selected, in percentage-wise, if you were to divide it, how much of it is a selector's team and what is the component of the coach and the captain's choice?
I don't think there are any percentages. I think in general you have, like I said, you have discussions. Even now, when the team's playing in Australia, I'll have discussions with a Gautam Gambhir or a Shubman Gill, and there's a South Africa series immediately to follow. So you're always constantly trying to see how best you can improve the team. So there are no percentages. They'll have their thoughts, we'll have ours.
Is it 50-50?